Welcome back to the Fit Life Orange County podcast. I'm your host, Jake Stewart. In today's episode, we sit down with Kylee Briney, who tells her amazing story of going from addiction to a super fit mom of three. Without further ado, let's jump right into it.
Here is Bryce Henson and Jake Stewart, your host of the Fit Life Orange County.
Alrighty, everybody, welcome to the show. Kylee, thank you so much for sitting down with us today. I'm so excited for the audience to get to know a little bit more about you and about your story. But first off, I'd say tell us a little bit about you. So give us just kind of, hey, who's Kylee and what's she all about?
Oh my gosh. Okay, my name is Kylee. I've been coming to Fit Body for probably about 8 years now. Started coming after losing fitness in my life for a little bit. Found a Groupon, came through here, and really haven't looked back. I've got 2 kids at home, 1 on the way, husband, and a full-time job.
That's awesome. Well, that's so cool. Well, I know you're super busy, and also thanks for squeezing this in right before baby number 3 comes. So excited to get to meet the little guy when he comes, which is super awesome. So there's definitely a lot to your story that I want to unpack and that I want to talk about. Obviously, I know your story, but I want everybody to know your story because I feel like it's very inspiring, and I feel like there's a lot of people out there that are probably in the same shoes as you. So let's start at the beginning. So as you kind of just said, you said you lost fitness in your life, and fitness hasn't always been like a big part of your life. So let's talk about that a little bit. So like, what was some of the reasons, like, as to why like fitness wasn't at the forefront? I mean, fitness isn't. I mean, let's be real here. You know, most Americans are obese. Most Americans are overweight. Like, fitness isn't in most people's lives. But let's just talk about Kylee. So we'll stick with just Kylee today. But yeah, so give me a little bit of backstory there.
Sure. So about when I was 20, I got my certification to be a personal trainer. So I really thought that I was going to have a career in the fitness industry. And then about 2 years after that, my life went a little bit differently. Fell into an addiction and was a little lost for a few years. After I went to treatment in 2016, I got out of treatment and met who is now my husband. And he was always a very encouraging person, really wanted me to get back to what I love to do. So he would send texts like, you know, what are you doing right now? I'm just hanging out. And he's like, you should just go for a run. Like, he knows what would make me happy, but it's really hard to take that first step to get back there. So little encouraging texts, and then I'd go for a run. And then I'm starting to get slowly back into the groove of things, which is then when we found Fit Body. And he would take our kids while I worked out so that I could have some me time. But the addiction really, my life took a crazy turn. But at the end of the day, I now get to work a job where I help people in addiction. So every day I show up to work and with people who are struggling with the same things I was struggling with. And I've been sober about 8 years now, a little over 8 years now, and been coming here for 8 years. So they kind of coincide together too. Like, we always encourage our clients to, get back to what makes you happy. For me, that's fitness. So a lot of people see working out as a chore. For me, it's what gets me going throughout the day. So even if nothing else happens throughout the day, I showed up and did a 30-minute workout, and I'm good. So it's a big part of my recovery to stay involved in being fit as well.
Wow. Well, that's one, congratulations. Like, 8 years of sobriety is no joke. Like, that's definitely super hard. Like, you know, a lot of people out there struggle with addictions from A to Z and everything in between. So I think that's really, really powerful. And like, kudos to you for breaking through. Like, that's really, really admirable. And one of the things I find really interesting about you, and also to admire the heck out of you for this. I think that's really cool. And I think it's really cool how, like, you kind of talked about it. You've managed to pair coming out of the coming out of recovery and coming out of that dark place with starting your fitness journey. And kind of that fitness journey is that's the good stuff. Like, that's kind of what you remember. And I feel like even 20 years down the road, that still is, I feel like, how you're going to view fitness is like, hey, it's always kind of ingrained in your mind with a positive spin, and not with, like you said, like it's a chore, it's something that you don't look forward to and stuff in the day.
Correct.
So that's incredible. So more I kind of want to talk about is just kind of, obviously, you're a busy mom. You have 2 kids, 1 more on the way. So I know they're doing a smattering of sports, school, everything else in between. In addition to that, you work a full-time job. How do you manage all that? Like, how do you manage all that and still get in and get your fitness?
Yeah. I think like with my kids, I really make them like a little mini extensions of me. So with my second kid, Tucker, 6 weeks after I had him, and they gave me the all green light. He was on the sidelines watching us from day one.
I remember.
And really involving them in what works for me, so that when I'm trying to structure our day, like they're not annoyed with it. So like, first thing in the morning, Tucker's still coming to the gym with us every morning. And then I get my me time. He's totally fine in the little side room, and then it doesn't seem so overwhelming. Whereas if I'm trying to figure out like who's going to watch the kids for 30 minutes while I can run to the gym and start stressing yourself out, they're really just little extensions of me. They love coming here, which is great. The family atmosphere that we have here makes it much easier for moms like me to take them here. And then my job. I love my job, so I don't see my job as a chore either. I do have a little bit more freedom, and I get to, work out in the mornings before work, dump the kids at school, and then get ready and head to work. And then afterwards, that's really where we focus on like the family time. So.
That's really awesome. I think there's a lot of really good takeaways there. I really like kind of the way you describe that as like having your kids be an extension of you rather than always having to figure out, hey, either I'm doing this and they're doing this, or like, or work together. It's like, no, they can come along with a lot of the things. That's definitely like a great piece that I feel like a lot of people can kind of take away, like whether moms or dads. And it's also too what I've found, and like just from observing, so just being on like the observation side. Obviously, I've been your coach for a number of years at this point, and I've known Tucker since he was 6 weeks old in the baby carriage sitting over there by the water fountain. Is like he is getting such a great example because he gets to come and he gets to see mom get stronger every single day. He gets to see mom come and do something healthy every single day. Like, and that's not lost on him. I see him when the session's over and he runs out here to come give you a hug and stuff. Sometimes he'll go over and pick up a dumbbell and he'll do the best dumbbell snatch I've ever seen. Like, it's a perfect form. I can tell that he's been paying attention like for a number of years. I think it's just going to set really, really awesome. It's just a really awesome example for him. And it's something that, like I always say, it's like, hey, whatever the trend that your parents set, the kids will always rise to that. So whether if you set a really bad example and you were in poor health, you weren't eating good, you weren't sleeping, like all this stuff, your kids aren't going to do any of those things. But if you're eating well, you're going to the gym every day, you're living this really healthy and fit lifestyle, and you're happy too. And like something too, what I noticed throughout the entire time you explained that, you were smiling the whole time. You're smiling and you're happy, and it sounds like you're really happy, and like it's like you've made a really happy life for yourself. Which is really awesome. But like, guess what? Like, guess who else is happy? Like Tucker and Piper are also super happy people. I met them all the time. Piper's a little sassy sometimes, but that's okay. I mean, as any 9-year-old girl would be, but she's a total sweetheart. So I think that's really, really awesome. And definitely something like a lot of people like listening to this episode can take away from this.
Coach Bryce here. Now, you might know me as the co-host of this podcast and the owner of Mission Viejo Fit Body. But what many people don't know is that began my fitness journey as a fitness transformation. Now, you see, circuit training and nutrition coaching absolutely changed my life after being overweight with a diet of mainly fast food in my late teens. Now, upon my fitness transformation in early 2007, yes, I gained a much better physique as I was overweight and I lacked lean muscle. But way more than burning fat and building lean muscle, I increased my self-confidence, my energy, and my vibrancy to live life on life's terms. Now, it's for these reasons that many people join our boot camp. Now, in fact, with our Ultimate Transformation Program, we guarantee, yes, guarantee, that you'll lose at least 10 pounds within 6 weeks, or your program is free until you do. Now, go ahead and visit our website at missionviejofitbody.com. Now, thanks, and back to the show.
So let's talk about it. So you've been a Fit Body member for 8 years, which is awesome. I know it's been a variety of different Fit Body boot camps, and you've landed here in Mission Viejo, I think, for the past 4 years now, so pretty much since COVID time. Talk to me, like, what are some of the things like you like about Fit Body compared to maybe other places that you've tried in the past? What works and what doesn't?
Let's see. So I think that it's not so overwhelming when you show up to a Fit Body. Like you said, I've been to other gyms in the past. For one, I do have that personal training background, so I know what to do, but I don't want to have to think about what to do. So being able to show up to a gym that already has that mapped out for you is perfect. Like, you could probably get a cheaper membership at 24-hour or whatnot, but then like you have to think about that. That has to be your workout plan that you show up with. So coming here, workouts are already done, and it's not this overwhelming, obnoxious feeling when you walk in here. The coaches are always very, very welcoming, obviously. they just make you feel so comfortable here. And then, also like if, sometimes you show up and you're like not in the mood to talk, like you're not like bombarded with that either though. Like if you just want to come here and just work out and like keep to yourself, then that's fine. If you're here to like socialize and make best friends, that's also a part of Fit Body. So I just love that it's mellow. I'm very much for the mellowness, and it's always different. So like to be coming here for 8 years and still have moments where I'm sore. Like you're not getting bored, your muscles aren't getting used to everything, like you're getting stronger and you continuously get stronger. So like I know when I wake up the next morning and I'm sore, like it's such a good feeling. Like haven't hit that, like I'm not maxed out yet, like there's still other things to be able to do. So
yeah, that's awesome. Well, as your coach, as your Fit Body coach, it makes me so happy to hear that you're loving it. You're loving the programming. Like, yeah, we always strive to change things up. Like we never want, even being here for 8 years, I probably haven't planned the same workout twice. I don't think I've cycled around yet. Which is awesome. So it's like really great to hear that you're like enjoying the program. I guess follow-up question in terms of like Fit Body. So it's been 8 years. So in that 8-year span, I know you've had another pregnancy in addition to the pregnancy that you're having right now. Like while you've been in your time specifically just in Fit Body, talk to me through that. Like how has it been like working out while you're pregnant? Because I know a lot of people maybe sitting at home, maybe they just found out they were pregnant or they're still newly pregnant. Like maybe they're not as far along as you are.
Yeah.
They're scared. They're scared because they don't know if they should work out. They don't know like what they can do, what they can't do. They don't know if they're going to be able to go to a gym and be able to perform the movements. They're scared of all that kind of stuff. What would you tell?
Yeah.
Like what would you say to that?
Yeah, I think it's crazy when you find out how much your body can do when you're pregnant. Obviously, I was here for a number of years prior to this pregnancy, and so you're able to kind of just continue what you've been doing as much as you possibly can. With a few things that had to be adjusted, like can't touch my stomach to the floor for a burpee, but I still can kick my legs out. Your body is so much stronger than you think, and if there's adjustments that need to be made, for one, the coaches see it, but also like your body knows it too. Going down in weights a little bit, but still being able to do almost every single thing in here on a daily basis, and the baby's fine in there, like the calmest part of my day with this little guy in there is when I'm here. The rest of the day it's spinning, flipping, kicking, all that craziness. So when we're here, like he likes it, and it just helps your heart rate. Everything about your pregnancy is better when you stay, active, just anything active.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, and that's a lot of people that come to Fit Body is usually post having their baby, and they come in and they say, oh, I've gained 20, 30 pounds since like my pregnancy, whatever it is. Usually that's the start. So I think it's so awesome to see, like I said, just super inspiring, like especially just as like an onlooker to see you still hitting it just as hard as you did before. Like I really haven't noticed any slowdown other than like, yeah, you said you're not going all the way down to the ground on the burpees, which is totally fine, whether you're pregnant or not. Like there's no mandatoriness that you have to go chest to the floor on the burpees. But that's just really, really inspiring, really awesome. And I feel like a lot of people out there like can definitely be inspired by that, because a lot of times it's just, you're just afraid, you're just scared, because maybe like, especially like I know this is your third go around, it might be like, hey, your first one, and like, hey, you're really scared because you don't know how your body's going to react and what's going to happen.
Yeah, I know, like with my first one, I was coaching at the time, and I used that as an immediate excuse to stop, which was crazy to me, because like my whole life is about fitness at that time. I was coaching every single day, but then as soon as I got pregnant, it was like a little bit of an excuse, like to be lazy. And the recovery after that wasn't as quick as the recovery after the second one. With Tucker, I definitely stayed active until about at least 7 months or so. And then like as soon as that doctor cleared me after that one, I'm back here. So with this one, it's like I've kind of learned a little bit from the first two, and we're just going to keep going until I pop, and then hopefully right back at it right after that. So
that's awesome. Yeah. Well, like I said, super inspiring and super duper awesome. Wow, like we've definitely learned like a lot more about you. Like I thought I knew everything, but apparently I don't, which is really great to kind of piece the puzzle together. I got a couple of questions here before we're done for the day. And I guess my second to last one is just kind of, hey, this is a local podcast here in Orange County. I know you've been an Orange County resident for quite some time. What's something you guys like to do, like on the weekends? Is there anywhere around here that you guys like to frequent? Anywhere you guys like to go? Tell us a little bit about where you can find, the Briney family on the weekends.
On the weekends, those crazy kids are really into the trampoline parks, the indoor things for them to play with. And we just love hanging out with family too. We bounce back and forth between 3 different groups of families, and because it's always sunny out, so there's always something to do in the backyard. But we're homebodies, and usually on the weekends we start our day with jogging to the park and letting them play around at any park. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. And again, another good example too. I'm like, hey, we don't need to take the car. Like, hey, we live in Southern California. It's always sunshine.
Seriously.
Well, except for the time of filming, it's actually raining today, which is like kind of the oddity. But yeah, it's like always good to get out and get a little active. You know, that's really awesome. Well, cool, Kylee. My last question. I promise this is the last one. If you had like a parting piece of wisdom, a little piece of advice for Kylee 1.0. So she's sitting at home. Maybe she's a new mom. Maybe she just got pregnant. Maybe even prior to that, maybe she dealt with addictions, like something very similar to you, and hasn't made a change, hasn't started in fitness, hasn't taken any steps to get there. What piece of advice would you give to that version of Kylee, if you could look back?
I think the hardest part about not have started yet is just to get there, right? And so biggest piece of advice I would have is just try one time, right? Because then you're there, you've tried it out, and like you're just sure to like the feeling that it gave you, like the feeling that you're walking away from that session for the day. It changes your whole day. So like just give it one try.
Boom. I couldn't have said it better myself. Kylee, thank you so much for sitting down today. I really appreciate your time. We got a lot of good value bombs, so hopefully everyone at home was taking notes. If you guys got value from this episode, please be sure to like, comment, and share this with a friend, and we will see you in the next episode.